Being perfect and appearing perfect is a tough task to do. I turned 40 this 2021, well, November 2021. And looking back to actually a few decades ago in my 20s, I remember how undisciplined I was during my days wherein, I would sleep whenever I wanted to, wake up whenever I wanted to because nobody was there to wake me up or tell me what to do. I just had no discipline. I did work out a lot because I was an athlete. I trained a lot back then, of course, trained in MMA, in jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and other different arts. But still, I felt like I lacked a lot of discipline. And it stems from just having those habits that I thought were normal back then. Like sleeping at 4 in the morning and then waking up at 8 was something I got used to doing because I worked night shifts before and transitioning from night shifts to working day shift and back and forth, etc., etc. That was just crazy for me. But I'm gonna share a few tips for you if you're a person who lacks discipline. I mean, let me know in the comment section if you're a person that you think that you lack discipline, and I'll share you some tips. First one is you want to be able to monitor the progress that you have for yourself. Think about writing things in a journal. I used to start writing things in a notebook wherein what happened to my day, my goals and aspirations and everything else, just to track the progress that I'm making. And with that, having a journal gives you a reminder of how bad you were back then and how great you've improved today. Because it's not like you record yourself in a video and doing things that you used to do. With a notebook, you can see the progress that you've made in terms of how you think and all. This actually reinforces your positive changes that you've implemented for yourself, and that goes for your life, and it gives you a record that you can look back on. I think that was a game changer for me to be able to journal and write in notebooks. Small tidbits. You don't have to write an essay in sorts because no one's gonna look at it. You're not gonna share it to the world. Keep it close to you. You don't need to share it to people. If you want to share it, then yes, go ahead. Put it out as a blog. The next one is lessen your expectations about yourself. It's simply because you don't want to expect perfection from yourself. Being perfect and appearing perfect is a tough task to do because if you want to remain perfect every time, from the looks of it, you're not going to achieve anything because you're never going to start anything at all. So don't expect yourself to perform perfectly anytime. It's good to aim for progress always rather than perfection. I know you've heard a lot about this short phrase, progress, not perfection. But if you hold yourself to an achievable standard, like a standard that you can't bear to do, then you'll only succeed in making yourself feel like you're selling yourself short or you feel inadequate. When you fail, be forgiving to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself and try to get up and keep moving forward, because if you fret all day, all the time about the past mistakes that you're going to make, you're not going to make any progress at all. So with that, in connection to not being hard on yourself, when you're not hard on yourself, be nice to yourself. People are too angry at themselves for not achieving something that they haven't achieved yet just because someone else has done it and they haven't yet. Change is very hard to do. Getting discipline from a person who's not disciplined to being disciplined all of a sudden takes time. Like, new habits are hard and it takes time. Like, I read it in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, how hard it is to develop new habits if you're leaping from one small change to a big change. Like, if you've never done a push-up and then you ask yourself to do 100 push-ups every day, of course, it's going to be threatening for you and very difficult. Just thinking about doing 100 push-ups if you haven't done any, like one. That's why it starts with small steps. Our minds are wired for a bit of familiarity. If you're familiar of doing 10 push-ups, doing 12 push-ups would be not too hard because this is just a difference about 2. But if you're going from 10 to 50 right away, now that's a real challenge. And it's because when you do something new, it takes time to develop the muscle memory here in our body and of course inside in our mind. Part of you is going to be fighting against it. For example, if you're a habitual drinker of, let's say, 6 bottles every night, you're used to drinking 6 bottles of beer every night, and then you change all of a sudden to not drinking the following night, nothing anymore. You're gonna have what we call relapse of you, and your body is just going to implode. And the thing is, what I said earlier, don't be too hard on yourself. Be nice to yourself. If you're going from 6 to 5 bottles every night to eventually 4, 3, 2, next thing you know, you're just down to 1 bottle and then sparingly drinking once a week, then that's progress by itself. I mean, going from 6 bottles, drinking 6 bottles every night to just doing 1 is just an achievement. For some, really, going cold turkey on something, on a bad habit, is just not always the way to go. People get anxiety about quitting something that they're used to doing. Just remember, when you started drinking and becoming an alcoholic, it took you a while to actually become an alcoholic. It wasn't like one drink, like, oh yeah, I'm an alcoholic now. Like, I finish a bottle of vodka or tequila every night automatically. You don't. The first time I finished a bottle of tequila, I said I'll never drink again a bottle of tequila. But then I got addicted to drinking tequila over and over again, and now it became some sort of habit. Don't allow those obstacles to cause you to give up on a bigger vision or a bigger goal that you have in mind, which is to stop or quit doing something and probably exchanging that bad habit with a new good habit, perhaps. Maybe replacing 6 bottles with doing 5 bottles the next time, and then adding a bottle of drinking water perhaps on the last one would do you good. Or before you even drink another bottle, you drink a bottle of water first before drinking the next bottle. Next thing you know, you're full already, so you don't want to drink anymore. I'm gonna give you so many tips, but at the end of the day, it's still up to you. The trick here is to trick your mind to do something less and less of. And the thing here is that you just want to, what we call, punch the clock, like just time in. One of the tips I always told my student who was not showing up in the gym was show up at the gym. Like, wear your gym clothes and then just go to the gym for 5 minutes. If you just sit down there for 5 minutes, fine, but at least show up. Showing up is winning half the battle already. You will have good days and you're gonna have bad days. I, for one, I work out 5 times a week, but there are days wherein I just work out twice or thrice because I bitch about it and say, I don't want to work out. I just want to watch TV because I don't want to do it. But then this bitch inside my head that's telling me don't do it is something that I try to fight most of the time. And most of the time, you have to be winning that battle inside your head. You know, if you're already at home and you're working out at home and your mind's telling you don't work out anymore, just watch something on Netflix or watch TV or do something else because working out is hard. It's a voice in your head that you're trying to fight. There will be some mornings or nights when you feel tired that you can't do your routine or what you're used to. And you won't have your best workout ever. Or if, for example, you're a blogger and you're writing things and then all of a sudden you don't want to write because you get bored by it. It's still incredibly important to follow through and just show up. That's why I say this term, just punch the clock. You know, the clock in, clock out of an employee. Just show up. Just show up at work. And your work is the progress that you're trying to do. So just being there, you yourself is already an achievement by itself. I mean, you getting off from bed is an achievement by itself when you wake up. Some people even refuse to go out of bed. I remember before, I could not see myself getting off bed after 2 hours. I only got off bed upon waking up after 2 hours because I was ready to go to the bathroom. If that wasn't the case, then I'd stay in bed all day. And that shows a lack of discipline. One last thing, in connection to that, with just showing up, just do one. If you haven't done it yet, you won't know how hard it is or how easy it could get. Like I said, if you haven't done one push-up, once you get started, you'll end up doing a lot more. When you show up to the gym for 5 minutes, you'll end up staying there for 10 minutes. Next time, you're doing it for 15 minutes. Next time, you're in the treadmill for 5 minutes. Next time, you know you're already in the treadmill for an hour. I used to post on Instagram on my stories that, you know, I was running on the treadmill for 15 minutes. And after that, like probably 6 months after, being on the treadmill for 1 hour is nothing new for me. That won't happen if I didn't start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on and so forth. Progress will take time. And just remember this, people who show quick results right away, it's most of the time not really sustainable. People who lose weight too quickly, there's strong chance that there's something wrong with that as well, because you're not supposed to lose like 30 pounds every month. A good 1 to 2 pounds every month is already good enough. I mean, so someone that goes on a crash diet will eventually crash inside. Don't worry if the goal you set for yourself is easy. That's the point. You want to make things easier for you to do something instead of setting a goal that's really hard. That's why I said, just do one push-up. Just show up at the gym. Eat one less McNugget. I don't know. The key here is to choose something that is so easy that you can't say no to yourself. How about that? What's something that you can do that's so easy that's going to be a good habit for you? Give me an example in the comment section. Let me know what that is and let's talk about that. Question of the day. What do you think is that one small thing that's so easy for you to do that you can't say no, but if you do it, it's something that you can build up on? It's like building a momentum, right, for yourself. Like you're on top of the hill. The hill represents represents how hard your life is right now. And if you do that, you're gonna go with the law of momentum. Like when you push downhill, that it's going to go faster and faster and faster for you. Quick bonus tip for you. How about calling a friend? It's helpful to have like what we call an accountability partner, or like, for example, going to the gym, like a gym buddy, your drinking buddy back then who's not drinking anymore, to have someone make you accountable for the things that you do. That would be great, because why do you think so many people hire coaches or someone who's achieved their personal goals already? It's because they've been there. And I'm sharing to you my experience from my 20s of how undisciplined I was. That's why I'm able to share it. And that wouldn't happen if I didn't have partners. I didn't even know there were accountability partners. When I train hard, working out in jiu-jitsu or in Muay Thai or in boxing, in wrestling, I always had a training partner. And that partner made me accountable and pushed myself furthermore, sometimes even beyond my limits, my self-made limits. Because limits, as they say, fears are things that you set as limitations for yourself. When you are accountable to someone or probably a group of people, that's why there's a club called the Night Club Runners, wherein they all run at night and they're a group. It's because even if they haven't done marathons, they can do 5K because they're besides other people and they don't leave anyone behind. So that's the point of it. When you see someone who's doing great, it's not like a competition. Like you're not going to leave anyone behind, or you're not going to go too fast because you're waiting on someone else. It's like an accountability. It's like what we call calling a friend or getting the help of someone or a group of people for doing what you said you would do so you can easily get stuff done.